welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to talk about my top 5 favorite glute exercises for building a booty at home. I've been working out at home for the past several months. Just because I'm working out at home doesn't mean I don't still want to make booty gains. Ideally for a booty day, I'll be in the gym with heavy weights. I know a lot of people, including myself, don't have access to a gym right now, so I wanted to share my favorite at-home booty building exercises. Let's get into it. So it's pretty well known that hip thrusts are one of the best booty exercises you can do. One good alternative to hip thrusts that you can do at home is a glute bridge. For that, you don't need a bench, you just need the floor, which everybody has. Using a band will make it more intense. For a glute bridge, you can put your band on just above the knees. You don't want it over your knees. Push up all your weight through your heels, and at the top, you want to squeeze your glutes as tight as you can. Sometimes it's helpful to poke the muscle that you want to engage. So when you're up at the top, you can give your butt a little poke and be like, this is where I need to engage, right here. Squeeze at the top and then slowly lower back down. And I, in a glute bridge, just touch my butt so briefly to the ground and then go up into another rep rather than completely resting and relaxing on the ground between reps. Just kiss the ground with your butt and back up and squeeze at the top. Some variations that I love are pulses, which is just like a fraction of a rep. So you're right at the top, you're squeezing and then you release and come down just a little bit, and then back up and squeeze, release just a little bit. And so you're oscillating right there, right at the end of your rep. Another thing that I like to do to intensify this, hold. So the squeeze at the top that you do at the top of the rep, just stay right there as high as your bridge can go and just squeeze till you can't. You should really feel this, especially with a band. So the whole time you have your band on, you should be pushing your knees and your thighs outwards against the band, and you should feel your side glute firing. You've got regular reps pushing up through the heels, pushing out against the band. You've got pulses, squeezing at the top of every pulse, and then you've got a hold where you're holding at the very top, squeezing everything, staying as high as you can for as long as you can. You could do like a 10-second hold or something like that. One more thing you can do when you have the band is at the top of your rep, you can do abductions. So you're all the way up as high as your bridge can go. You're squeezing those glutes, and then with your legs, you're pulsing outward against the band, and that kills. One thing I like to do is combine all of these. So I'll do 10 full reps, 10 pulses, 10-second hold, and then I'll do 10 abductions at the top of my bridge. That little set will really burn. That's a nice way to spice up this move and make it a little bit more effective for at-home workouts when you don't have access to heavy weights. The next exercise I want to talk about is a glute lift. You need a chair, which everybody has a chair, so no excuses. Lay your chest and stomach on the chair, and you want your hip bones to be at the edge of the chair. So you don't want to be dangling off too much, because then it'll be really hard and you won't have much control. You don't want to be too far forward on the chair, or else you won't have the range of motion that's ideal for this exercise. Put your feet together, hinging at the hips, lift your lower half all the way up as high as you can and squeeze your glutes at the top with your feet together, and then you lower the same way. These are kind of like a Pilates grasshopper on the ground, but with these you have a lot bigger range of motion. You can swing all the way down and all the way up, kind of like a 90-degree range of motion rather than just a couple of inches if you're doing it flat on the floor. With this exercise, again, you can do full reps, you can do pulses, you can do holds. Another thing I like to do is do a hold at the top and then do leg extensions. So extend out my lower half of my leg and then bring it in, kind of like a hamstring curl. You can definitely add a resistance band to this move if you want, just above the knees. The other way I like to do these are with straight legs. So you can do the same exact thing just with straight legs instead of with your feet together. Lift up from the ground all the way as high as you can, engage the glutes, and you can do full reps, you can do pulses, holds. And then another thing I like to do here at the top of my rep is an abduction. So just bringing the legs out, 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 squeezing the glutes as hard as you can there. I absolutely love them. I try to incorporate them every leg day, and at first it's a little uncomfortable kind of having your rib cage smushed on the chair, but after you start working your glutes, you kind of forget that your chest feels smushed because your glutes are on fire. This is one of my favorite exercises. We have our Romanian deadlifts. I didn't like these until recently. These are really good for targeting the hamstrings and the glutes. The standard double leg, just stand with your feet hip distance apart. You can hold dumbbells if you want. Send the glutes back and hinge at the hips, keeping your back nice and neutral and straight and keeping your neck in line with your back. So kind of keeping your spine in line. You don't want to like look up when you do that. Hinge at the hips, send the glutes back, slowly lower those dumbbells to the floor, and then come back up, pushing up through the heels. And repeat. For this exercise, I don't really do any sort of pulses or holds or anything like that, but what I will do is a single leg variation. For this, kind of stagger your stance, one foot in front of the other, and the front foot is the one that's gonna have all the weight in it. So the back leg is just there for stabilization, so your back knee should be bent. I'm kind of like on my toe of that back leg, whereas the other foot is flat on the ground, and I'm gonna push up through the heel of that front foot. With the staggered stance, all of your weight is on that front foot, and you do the same thing. I kind of like center my dumbbells around that leg, and then I hinge at the hips, send my glutes back. All my weight is on that front foot. I lower and I push up through the heel and return back to the top. Obviously you do both legs. I really feel these in my hamstrings, and this is an exercise where it's good to go nice and slow and really just feel it. I found these really effective for targeting my hamstrings, especially with a little dumbbell action. These are gold. The next exercise, this is kind of a classic, kind of an obvious one, kind of a boring one, but not really. Sumo squats. You'll never catch me doing a regular squat, always sumo. For the sumo squat, your stance is wide, your knees and your toes are pointing outward, so instead of forward, they're angled outward. You can do these sumo squats with dumbbells if you want, so just hold your dumbbells down in front of you. Send the glutes back like you're sitting in a chair. Most of your weight should be on your heels, but not to the point where you're gonna fall back. Try to be your knees at 90 degrees at the bottom of the squat, and then push up through your heels, and at the top, tuck your hips a little bit and get a glute squeeze. It's really easy to just go through the motions with a squat and not properly engage the glutes. You can end up feeling it more in your quads. Keep your mind on your glutes. Make sure you're engaging them the whole time. Otherwise, it does become more about the quads, or it can become more about the quads. Really focus the whole way down your sumo squat. You should be engaging your glutes. You should never stop. I think you'll feel it most at the bottom and the top, but you should be thinking about engaging the glutes the whole time. So lowering in your sumo squat, engage, engage, engage. You're at the very bottom, push up through the heels, return to the top, and get a little hip tuck and squeeze at the top if you want, or you can do constant tension. I love to add pulses, holds, or just straight up reps. The next exercise that is a favorite is a classic. It's glute kickbacks. These are staples. These are really good, especially if you are able to use a band. I sometimes use this lighter strength band and sometimes this heavier strength band. This one is so heavy that it's really hard to get a full range of motion. If I want a lot of resistance and not a full range of motion, I'll use this one. If I want a little bit of resistance and a more full range of motion, then I'll use this one. You don't need anything. You just need the floor once again. So you can definitely do these at home. You can either do these with your heel flexed or your foot flexed, so kind of leading with the heel of the foot, or with the toe pointed. I almost always do them with my heel flexed just because I feel this exercise in my glute a little bit more if I do it that way. Hinging at just one hip, bring your whole leg up, squeeze your glute at the top. I keep my leg bent when I do this, around 90 degrees. It doesn't have to be exactly 90 degrees, but the main thing is that you need to squeeze at the top. And once again, ways to spice this up and make it more intense, using your band, doing pulses, a hold, or here at the top, once again, you can do hamstring curls. And I really like to put all these things together. So I'll do 10 full reps, 10 pulses, a 10-second hold, and then 10 hamstring curls at the top. I'll do this on each leg, a couple of sets, and that's killer. The most important thing is that you engage in all of these exercises. So it's really easy to just go through the motions and not feel it properly in your booty, not engage properly, but in every single booty exercise you do, you should be thinking about the booty, squeezing the booty until you're gonna cry. You got this. Those are my top 5 favorite at-home booty exercises. Let me know if you try them out in the comments down below. Let me know which one burns the most or which one you're most excited to try. I love them all. I'll have to say, I think the glute lifts on the chair are my favorite just because they're fairly new to me, but I almost never do a leg day without my glute bridges. But let me know what your favorite is. I hope you found this helpful. If you did, give this video a thumbs up. And if you want to see more videos from me, click the subscribe button because I release new videos every week. I'll see you in the next video. Happy booty building and stay sweaty.